Okay. And here we are. Hello everyone, Carl Wolf here, and today I'm playing Raging Loop. And I need to click out of the game real quick to do a thing. I think I am going to need to age restrict this game. I just didn't want to click out of the that little intro until it was done. But I think this is going to need to be age restricted. Yes. There we go. Okay. Now, let's get right into it. Bow. I bid you welcome to the world of this visual novel, Raging Loop. I am nobody special, honestly. Simply consider me part of the interface. You may refer to me as Rikako. You are most likely playing this game for the first time, and I am here to explain a few things about it. This work is quite strange, you see. It's recommended that the uninitiated take the time to read everything here. Those uploading their gameplay should at least read the 4 videos and sharing section. If you read until the end, you'll find a sexy CG of me. It doesn't exist. We truly do live in a society. A harsh society. How sad. Now, where should I begin? About this game? Raging Loop is a visual novel. Much like with regular novels, the story is told through text. The enjoyment comes from reading it. If you are familiar with the party games Werewolf and Mafia, this visual novel bears a close resemblance to those. But keep in mind, it is just that, a resemblance. The sincerest apologies to those who were hoping to play an eternal game of Werewolf with 20 super AI Rikakos. I weep and bleed for you, truly. How sad. Of course, this is not merely a novel. As you carry on, you will sometimes come upon choices, which affect the story. It's quite amazing. The characters have lively visual depictions, as well as voices, making it easy to immerse yourself in this world. To enjoy the voices to the fullest extent, or to simply avoid bothering your neighbors with the sound of anguished screams, please consider using headphones, which I am. This story is obscenely lengthy, as well, so please take care not to be drawn in so thoroughly that you begin losing sleep. Also, you may be aware of this already, but Raging Loop is based entirely around fabricated murders and horrific scenarios, which is why I age-restricted it. It's tailor-made for all you fans of suspense, thrillers, horror, and mystery. Of course, this is a work of fiction, so it has nothing to do with real people, groups, and incidents. It also includes fictional details about academic matters, such as history, religion, mythology, science, and medicine. Relying upon it during exams would get you 0 points. How sad. Lastly, we do not endorse replicating the crimes and cruelty depicted in this work. There's nothing to worry about as long as you differentiate between reality and fiction. This is, after all, fiction. I'm sure you are intelligent enough not to conflate things that happen in the game world with things that happen in real life, so enjoy Raging Loop to your heart's content. Yes, I am smart enough to do that. Okay, special functions. Allow me to tell you about Raging Loop's special functions. Raging Loop's story branches out in ways so complicated, it might be hard to follow. But there's no need to worry, for we have included a handy function called the scenario chart, the flowchart. You can access it any time by simply opening the menu, giving you an overview of the scenario. And that's not all. Using the chart allows you to move to any chapter you've already been to, anytime, anywhere. A lot like Zero Escape and whatnot. Now there's no need to save at every choice you come across. You can simply go back and choose again, so there's nothing to worry about. Oh, that makes it even easier, actually. The scenario chart function will be explained again when you have to use it, so don't worry if you don't quite understand it. Next up, keys. All branching in the story happens immediately when you make a choice. None of them start taking effect further down the line. However, some of the choices can only be unlocked when you have specific bits of information called keys. Many might say that searching for these keys is one of the major goals in this game. Don't worry if you don't understand how to search for them. It will be explained when you have one. Additionally, keep in mind that all routes unlocked by acquisition of a key will be open even if you haven't saved after the fact. This also means that you can't load back to a state when you didn't have the key. Ah. This doesn't make any scene inaccessible, so it's not much of a problem. But it's something to keep in mind. For those commendable individuals who would like to play without any keys again, please refer to the data reset option. Use it wisely. Standard functions? In addition to the special functions, Raging Loop also has the basic functions you'd expect any visual novel to have. You can hide the text window, see the backlog, load, save. Skip, read text, skip to the next choice, and so on. Saving and loading work as they normally do. There's an autosave function as well, but it only saves each time you enter a new chapter, so don't rely on it too much. Please save manually whenever it feels appropriate, whether you've read to a part that calls for it, or you're about to use the scenario chart. Next are the options. Okay, that's fine. Sheep? Smoking sheep? Okay, that was interesting. About the videos. Are you going to tell me I can't monetize or something? Which I am not monetized on YouTube anyway. Raging Loop is a visual novel, meaning that the story, events, and conclusions are very important. Because of this, it would be very troubling if someone uploaded everything to the internet. I'd be sad. Very sad. Then again, we do understand those who want to enjoy the work with many other people. Because of this, we have set a guideline for how far we would like you to upload. This range covers the whole first main route and a little extra. Specifically, you can only upload until the choice at 4, Infiltration, Q entering the village. That's unfortunate. That's a lot, just so you know. I'm sure you have enough content for your uploads. I actually think it's a bit too much. Uploaders who read everything aloud might get a sore throat. Please don't overdo yourselves, alright? Also, if you intend to upload, please use the reminder function. If you have it set on, when you reach the time to stop making a video, a strange sheep hops onto the screen and says, "End of the line." We would be grateful if you stopped recording when you see him and try theorizing and arguing instead. This function is currently set to off. Sure. Very well. I've set it to on. If you wish to change it, please go to 0 introduction and come here again. Okay. Phew, that sure took a while. Thank you kindly for reading this far. Anyway, let's begin the story. Beyond the pockets of mist and hazes of blood, at the end of the ever-repeating despair and grief, please come and witness the truth of the werewolf village with your own 2 eyes. Bow. And here we go. $5.11 Sunday. I closed in on the side of the road and killed the engine. It was steeper than I'd thought. My bike was on the verge of giving out, so I pushed down and deployed the kickstand. Well, I'm lost. Maybe taking a ride down an unknown road with no sat-nav on me wasn't such a good idea. I'd just followed the roads, so I'd figured I wouldn't get lost, but now I was in some deep shit. No. Cool it. This isn't a big deal. I sighed, took note of the fact that I'd gotten lost in my pocket journal, and then pulled out a map. Suddenly, a rush of memories fitted into my mind. Well, I don't have this option, so forget it. I somehow keep myself from remembering those things. After all, I'd gone on this trip to forget. Enough of that. I gotta focus on what's happening right now. Life is simple, just like this road. It's dark and there aren't any guides. But that means all you gotta think about is whether you go forward or back. Going back wasn't an option in this case, so I'd just move forward. Still, I wanted to know where I was, at least, so I looked down at my map. It was all Greek to me. Last time I'd seen a sign, it was still light out, meaning that I'd gotten lost after the sun had set. Sure, it was my own fault for just guessing which intersections I'd been passing through, and that it had taken me 2 hours to conclude I was lost. Crazy to think that just 2 hours of aimless driving got me almost completely surrounded by mountains. They extended as far as the eye could see. If you flipped this scenery upside down and shook it, it's unlikely even a shred of civilization it would tumble out. Besides the asphalt below, my sweet ride, and the lamppost above, the first one in a while, mind you, there was nothing man-made here. The pocket map I had wasn't detailed enough for me to figure out where I was. I guess I'll just keep driving. I'd go as far as I could. Worst comes to worst, I could just camp at the side of the road. Two hours later, I deeply regretted ever thinking that. Basically, camping wasn't an option. This mountain road had no side to camp on. A dump truck I'd passed barely even fit on it. I'd also had my first close encounters with wild forest animals. I'd already seen 2 boars and 3 deer in those 2 hours alone. One of the deer had run parallel to my bike while intently staring at me, and I had no idea what to think of that. I'd felt like it could smell my fear and did it just to make it worse. How dare the thing do that to a human? We're the kings of this planet, damn it. I'd have to remember to eat some venison once I came back to civilization. Anyway, camping out here was a bad idea. I'd end up as either roadkill or animal food. And yet, I didn't back out. Why? Because I'm a pretty warped sort of guy, and I won't pretend otherwise. That was actually the reason why my once comfortable relationship had gone awry, and why I'd gone on this stupid trip. Still, despite acknowledging that, I chose to keep moving forward. It wasn't like I'd found a place to stay if I went back. I was actually starting to think that this experience might make a good conversation piece sometime down the road. It was really getting late at this point. Where would these roads take me anyway? Death? It'd probably be disappointing. Soon enough, the road became flat. I was out of the mountain pass. The forest remained abundant, though, so I still didn't see much. Even so, the streetlights and signs were enough to make me feel I was again nearing civilization. Was streetlights the right expression for lights in a forest? I'd have to look that up. Hello Kai, welcome in. Thanks for your daily check-in, and congrats on first. As the road grew less rugged, I realized just how exhausted I was. All this bike handling had left. My hands really sore, too. Hello, Kai. How are you today? I really had to rest. Suddenly, I saw something unexpected. Powerful, colorful, artificial lights. A convenience store? Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was next to an intersection between the road I was on and another, even thinner road that could probably sport only a single car. The sea of trees ended, giving room for the majestic child of our consumerist society. Yeah, that was an exaggeration. Apparently, even a damn store was a big deal for someone who'd just stepped out of the wild. 13 hours and full of energy. Oh, Kai. You crazy, Kai. It was called Fresh Mark. I don't know if it's a silent E or if it's like Marky. I doubt it's Fresh Marky. Fresh Mark. I'd seen several of them a few times during the day. It was probably a local franchise. The building didn't look all that old. At least, the parking lot looked a lot smoother compared to the roads. This was a pretty weird place to build something like that, though. Was I close to a settlement? Or did they actually make a profit off of lost travelers? I just asked that or something. A local shopkeeper was bound to know what was around these parts, not to mention I was thirsty. I was welcomed by a weird chime sound. It looked like a normal convenience store. There were goods on the shelves, a counter on the left, and... Whoa. The worker at the counter was so mean-looking it was scary. She was so imposing, I wouldn't have doubted if someone told me she was in charge of some ladies' army corps. Hey. Was that supposed to be a greeting? It was so damn cold it actually gave me chills. Was this store shadier than it appeared? Was I about to be stupidly overcharged? Was this how this place made a profit? By taking advantage of lost people and basically beating them out of their money? Shit. That was scary. Clearly, the Wonderland had only just begun. Woohoo! I sure was excited for the beating. I grew more nervous and less enthusiastic by the second. I braced myself, but she just looked down at a magazine in her hands. Oh, so she was just a slacker. Slightly disappointed, I walked around the store. It was about what you'd expect. There was a small shelf with energy drinks, followed by some stationaries, travel goods, sanitary stuff, etc., etc. There were sweets that came with toys, a shelf of cup ramen and dried food, a fridge, a freezer. It all looked normal. It was late, so the daily dish and packed lunch section was completely empty. And the only special thing about this place was the section full of unpacked vegetables you'd expect to see at a greengrocer's. Maybe all rural convenience stores were like this. I was slightly surprised by that, but there weren't any local fine foods or anything. So all in all, it was an unremarkable store. If you ignored the clerk, anyway. I took a drink and brought it to the register. Yep. She really was the highlight of this place. What kind of clerk smokes while dealing with the customer? You're actually buying? Yes, I was actually buying. She was the clerk, and I'd be her god, the customer. 126 yen. She didn't even scan it. This exchange was at the mercy of the clerk. God is dead. Maybe I had to get mad at her. Can I ask something? Huh? I'm kinda lost right now. I quickly turned meek. Where can I find the nearest town? There. Don't you have a map or something? We don't. Man, this woman. I'm not sure I believe that. Convenience stores often get asked for directions. You must have a map handy. That a rule? Well, we don't have one. Go back wherever you came from. I've been lost for a few hours now. I don't think I can keep it up for much longer. Sleep on the floor or something. She had to be joking. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'd rather be on my way. Are you sure you can't help? Alright. Just wait. The clerk put out her smoke in the ashtray and went to the staff-only area. She came back in no time. Found it. So she did have a map. Of course she did. Even more ill-tempered than usual, the clerk started giving an explanation. Here's this store. Go to the north at the crossroads. You'll find an overpass soon enough. Cross it. When you come to a fork next to a giant boulder, turn right and head straight. Fork next to a giant boulder, turn right, head straight. Overpass. Huh? On this road? What of it? There's nothing there. There's a settlement. It's just not on the map. Do you know any other places? There's Fujiyoshi, but it's 2 hours through a mountain pass. This one's about 30 minutes away. Fujiyoshi seemed to be a village. It didn't look too far away, but the road leading to it was a huge branching mess. It was clearly just a paved mountain pass. I'd had enough of those for one day. I'd probably just get lost again. I'll go to that one then. Thank you. What do you mean money? Money. Excuse me? You didn't pay for the tea. Oh, right, sorry. Here's 500 yen. Ding, rustle, jingle. Why did you put the change in the collection box without asking me?